landscape goes. But yesterday was a big day in Montgomery, I should say, as the Alabama High School Athletic Association handed out their Mr. and Miss Basketball awards for the state of Alabama. And for the first time in school history, the Buckhorn Bucks have a Mr. Basketball, as sophomore Caleb Holt was named Mr. Basketball for the state of Alabama yesterday. Holt, the first sophomore to win the Mr. Basketball Award in its 42-year history. First sophomore to win the award. Of course, he has led Buckhorn to back-to-back Class 6A state championships. He did it as a freshman and then accomplished that as a sophomore. And then for Miss Basketball, Junior Ace Austin from Spring Garden is named Miss Basketball. Of course, she led Spring Garden to the 1A state championship 3 times in her 5 years on the varsity. An overall 167-9 record. She becomes just the 3rd junior selected for the award in its 35-year history. She's also earned the Gatorade Alabama Player of the Year in 2024 and was named the Sports Writers Association 1A Player of the Year. Bell Hill from Mars Hill named your 2A Player of the Year. And Leah Brooks from Hazel Green named your 6A Player of the Year. On the boys' side, Carson Thrasher from Mars Hill named your 2A Boys Player of the Year. But once again, congratulations to Caleb Holt becoming the first ever sophomore in the 42-year history to be named Mr. Basketball in the state.
Yeah, I mean, and he came out of nowhere to be named 6A Player of the Year. And really, we all knew, but the rest of the state hadn't seen him until they went on the playoff run. And he was 6A Player of the Year as a 9th grader. And now the next step being Mr. Basketball. So congratulations to Caleb Holt. He's always been a trailblazer. He was the first 8th grader to ever start at Buckhorn. And he's had a very, it's interesting because he was a legend coming out of middle school. And so a lot of times that's pressure on someone, but he's lived up to every accolade. And then, what he did for Fred Derrick after, playing injured. And he just recently, as Coach said last week to us, when we honored them as the Bryant Bank Team of the Week, that he had just been cleared for, full activities since that state championship run back-to-back as they got the win once again over Mountain Brook in overtime. But to understand that and see how his team stepped up around him, and that, of course, Caleb Holt is their bell cow and their best player, but it just goes to show you that they're extremely well coached and they've got talent over there at Buckhorn, because they win the state championship without him in overtime. Fred Derrick was a huge part of that. And, of course, Caleb Holt recognizes it and basically shares that MVP and really gives it to Fred after, the game, which shows the kind of high-character kid he is. And, I mean, he's a young man. I mean, we certainly hope and pray that he plays his entire career here in our community. If he did, with what you just mentioned to the listeners, being the first sophomore ever to win Mr. Basketball. We've had 2 young men from our community that have won back-to-back Mr. Basketballs. We've been very blessed. John Petty and Trevor Lacey both did it. But no one's ever won 3 in a row. He could actually do that. He would be the heavy favorite the next 2 years to do so. And Buckhorn, of course, is going to be a heavy favorite to win 3 straight 6A titles because they have the majority of their squad back. They did lose Austin Childress and Jackson Ramsey to a couple of seniors off of this team this year, but they have a lot of talent coming back, Scott, and they're going to have a chance to have a special season again. But what a special accomplishment for Caleb Holt, and to be recognized in that way. And it's certainly another Mr. Basketball for our community. We're certainly very proud of it. And then Ace Austin, she's got another year. She can win another state championship and certainly Miss Basketball honor. And
how about that? They could sweep it. We could see a sweep again.
Yeah.
We could easily see
I know we've kind of become mini celebrities in the Spring Garden community, but we had Coach Ricky Austin on, her father, who has been a big fixture in that community for many, many years, Scott.
Yeah.
So, but congratulations to both those young people. Ace, committed to Alabama, very good player. Caleb Holt, where do you want to go? I mean, and really the next big step for Caleb, when Coach mentioned it, is he's got a chance once again this summer to represent his country.
And that's what he's trying to get.
Yeah,
that's what he's trying to
get healthy.
Healthy for is to do that.
And he did it last summer, and so just shows how elite he is when you get a chance to put the USA across your chest and play with the other outstanding 5-star level type prospects in your class and represent the United States.
All right, 256-576-4977. That's how we get you rolling out of the gates this morning. A little high school basketball news there. College basketball news is still on the forefront, and that is because the transfer portal window is open. And our good friend, before we get into the news, Richard Hendricks put something out there on Twitter last night, and it's very interesting. He says the transfer portal is something else.
Yeah.
As a player that played for 12 different clubs in 13 years as pro, continuity and familiarity is what you should really want as a player. Hard to build a legacy as a journeyman. Your legacy is what will matter when the ball stops bouncing. That's what Richard Hendricks put out on Twitter.
Yeah.
Alabama learns that Nick Pringle is going into the transfer portal. Nick Pringle competed in 34 games, started 16 this year, but he transferred from Dodge Community College, began his career in Wofford, and now will be on a new team yet again.
Yeah, he spent 2 years at Alabama. He spent these last 2 seasons helping Alabama win an SEC regular season and tournament title, go to the Sweet 16, and then, of course, make history this year going to the Final Four. He had his best game in that regional final, Scott, in the West region over there in Los Angeles against Clemson with the 16 points and 11 rebounds, played with a lot of energy. This one didn't surprise me, though. As we all know, Nick had some issues. He served a couple of suspensions, had to pay his own way out to Spokane, but played well and certainly overcame it.
Right.
But he was basically on the list of guys that I thought when the season ended would probably move on. He would probably be better served to play at a group of 5 and maybe in the Sun Belt or somewhere. Because he did start 16 games, but he was, inconsistent. He was in the rotation usually, but his minutes fluctuated. Probably could be a starter and have a chance to be an all-league type player. For example, I'm just talking about connections. Brian Hodgson recruited him to Alabama, and now Brian is, of course, the head coach at Arkansas State. I could see him maybe landed somewhere like that. And then Nick Kelly had a couple of interesting posts on his X account last night about this looks, now things change quickly, especially with, you just kind of went on that diatribe about the portal this morning, both in football and basketball.
Yeah.
But I think as far as guys leaving and going to another school for Alabama right now, I think they're good. I think things have a chance to stabilize. The only other 2 decisions that you're really going to focus on are the 2 young men that have pro aspirations, and that's, of course, Mark Sears, who had as good a year as probably the best year ever for any Tide guard, and then Grant Nelson. Grant Nelson, of course, transferred from North Dakota State, had a really good NCAA tournament, especially against North Carolina and Connecticut. And was able to be recognized during that run for playing well. So I do think that Grant, of the two guys, could really benefit from another year because we see how much better Mark Sears got from staying in college for another season.
Right.
Now with Mark, I don't know that you can accomplish anymore. You can't. It's possible to have the same kind of season and stay healthy.
Yeah,
and
his stock is probably as high now as what it would be.
Right.
If he came back, it wouldn't get any higher.
I don't think so. I mean, because again, he is an undersized guard,
right,
for NBA purposes. Now he's a great college player. He could lead Alabama back to a Final Four or even to a national championship. But again, he was a second-team All-American, probably should have been first, one of the two best players in the SEC. You see his stat line for the run to the Final Four and even how well he played against Connecticut. I mean, he brought it every game. So, as you said, his stock probably is not going to get any higher. And so for his pro aspirations, whether it be NBA or an extremely lucrative overseas deal, this may be the time for him to strike. And so I do think Grant Nelson could add strength and have a second year and ensure he gets drafted.
Right.
And maybe even become a first-round pick. It's hard to say because he is 6'10". He has that multi-dimensional skill set the NBA looks for, but I think he would benefit from playing against SEC competition for his second year. Just like Mark Sears did, so we'll see. But
you think he's waiting more on Mark Sears?
No, they're not waiting on each other. I didn't
say waiting on each other, but I mean, if Mark, I mean, he benefited from Mark Sears.
Yeah, he did, but there's going to be good players around him if he comes back to Alabama. Alabama's already replaced Ryland Trader, and also who's probably going to end up at Kansas. And Bill Self wouldn't tamper Scott. He wouldn't have been calling the kid and have some third party blowing him up in December because he knew he had no bench and and everybody was hurt and they ended up should have lost to Kansas. Should have lost to Bucky and Samford when Mo, Larry, and Curley were officiating and blew the call at the end of the game. But it is what it is.
Kansas showed the prowess last season to spend almost upwards of $4 million to put a basketball roster on.
Wish
the floor.
they could have made the Sweet 16, but it is what it is. They got blown out, so they got to try to have a deeper squad. So it looks like they're going to get Ryland Griffin. At least right now. I mean, that could change. I mean, Baylor could be involved. That's what I was told. But it looks like Kansas is the team. I was just stunned and shocked to hear that Kansas would be the landing spot for Ryland Trader. But that's that happens sometimes. But again, it giveth and taketh. Alabama's already replaced Ryland Griffin, so and good for Ryland. He had a good run. I mean, he helped Alabama reach the Final Four. He had a good, not great year. He improved defensively. He shot the ball well. He scored the ball. Still doesn't finish at the rim as well as he needs to, I think, or shoot free throws as proficiently as they would need. But he has a lot of potential. He's long. Maybe he'll be a good fit at Kansas. We'll see if that's where he winds up. But again, I just think overall they've added Houston Millett from Pepperdine. He can shoot it. I think he's not the exact kind of player, but I think he's a replacement for Aaron Estrada. And then Chris Youngblood, we already talked about him from USF. He's replacing Griffin, so they've already replaced those two guys. Now you're going to see, they need a rim protector. I think that's the biggest need right now. And I don't know how to pronounce the last name yet, but Cliffo from Rutgers is going to – I'm hearing he's coming in Saturday and Sunday. We'll see if that happens. I know they'd like to get him to visit and be the rim protector for them next year. And then the most interesting, because we've never seen this yet. Now, we've seen it in football a couple times with guys that have gone from Alabama to Auburn, Auburn to Alabama, but Aiden Holloway, McDonald's All-American, starter for Auburn the majority of this year at point guard, is in the transfer portal. And from what I'm hearing, he'll be on campus on Thursday. And, of course, I've had people reach out and say, well, is he a take? Well, to me, I would say yes. If you in the transfer portal era, Scott, if you bring a kid into campus on a visit, usually you're offering said kid and you'd like him to come to your school. And the reason I think they're doing that is I think they know Mark Sears is very likely to turn pro. Now, they're going to keep their options open. And you look at the roster right now. They got a couple of spots open. They would have spots for, and that's counting Mark Sears and Nelson being on the roster. They would have spots for Cliff and for Aiden, for both of those guys. But then there's the Liam McNeely factor. And if Mark Sears turned pro as expected, then I think that would open up a spot for Liam McNeely after the Jordan Brand game to visit. But and if you remember last year, Nate Oates, they kept a 13th scholarship open, which they ended up giving to Kai Spears after the season started. But I also remember Coach Oates during a press conference saying, "Yeah, we've got one open, and we'll leave it open if we find the perfect fit," which they didn't. And so they decided to leave it open. But I definitely think Liam McNeely would be a different story.
All right, 7:17 on a Wednesday morning. A little basketball news there. Told you we had some. Let's get a break in. Mark from Spring Hill, I know you're holding. We'll get to you coming out of the break. 256-576-4977.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Still looking at a clean slate accident-wise. Haven't found anything there. We did have a report of a vehicle fire southbound Research Park near Old Madison Pike. That one may still be working. Snelling can help with admin, accounting, or business support personnel. Snelling, how the area's best companies hire talent. Huntsville.snelling.com. Captain Nick in the Jordan Lane Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
T-minus 3, 2, 1, lap.
Flash and the nation, ignite the fun, let's rock it.
The 2024 season for your Rocket City Trash Pandas rolls on as they return home Tuesday, April 23rd for a 6-game homestand like you've never seen before at Toyota Field. Not only are the Pandas taking on their cross-state rivals, the Tennessee Smokies, but this homestand marks the return of the big old ballpark fair. Get your tickets to see the Pandas and the fair now by visiting TrashPandasBaseball.com.
Let's rock it.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold-certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
At Bryant Bank, we recognize your time is valuable, and easy, secure access to your finances is essential. That's why we provide the financial tools you need to manage your money on the go and make life a bit easier. At Bryant Bank, we're here to help with instant debit cards, Apple Pay, person-to-person payments, and more. Bryant bankers want to show you how beneficial our digital banking services can be. Learn more at bryantbank.com. Bryant Bank. Live legendary. Member FDIC.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
There we go. Welcome back, Talking Ball. Wow, I tried to hit the button faster because that was getting on my nerves.
Well, yeah, like the transfer portal.
Well, I tell you what, if you watch it or not watch, if you pay attention to X and you look at the transfer portal,
right,
it'll just drive you crazy because
Yeah.
it is. If you refresh, 10 more guys go in either on the football side or the basketball side. It's just absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Mark from Spring Hill is with us. Good morning, Mark.
Morning.
Hey, morning, guys. Wow. Y'all are not surprised with Pringle. I'm over here about to fall off out of my chair. I don't know. I think I wonder if Coach Oates, he may be a lot like Coach Saban, that it wasn't a Pringle's decision. It's like, I just wonder, anybody close to the program?
It wasn't.
Well, think about it this one. If it came as a shock, then I don't. if you follow college basketball and you see the writing on the wall on this one, where you are suspended for not because of grades, but you're suspended because of effort, not once but twice.
And then told not to.
And then told you got to pay your own way to go out to a basketball tournament. I mean, you could, the way kids' mentalities think today, that's writing on the wall where I'm not coming back. I mean, that's just, I don't get along with you. I don't mesh with you. I'm not coming back.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, and you got Griffin. Remember last year you had Bediako. I just don't know. What I'd like to know from our coach, I mean, I love Coach Oates, and everything. I'd like to know the part of, is it that he can't keep them? He doesn't want them, or he's not willing to sit in the room. He'd rather go get an unknown than try to work with Pringle. You follow me? Is it
Welcome
about
to college basketball 2024.
Trust me, they were trying to work with Pringle for 2 years, man. They it was hot and cold, like some bipolar stuff going on. Nick's a good kid when he's focused, but there's the focus part, and that's kind of what Scott's referring to.
That's where it's not just Alabama anymore. It's not just Alabama anymore. It's every college basketball program in the country. If you as a coach don't see eye to eye with a player anymore, you're not going to spend 2 to 3 years to develop him, because you just don't want the hassle. Yeah. You're gonna make him move, or he's going to move, and then you're going to go out and get somebody else that you want to bring in.
And again, Nick's talented. When he's focused, he's a really good player. But I'll bring an analogy in that Scott will know exactly what I'm talking about. It's like one of my favorite movies from Rodney Dangerfield, Ladybugs. Squirrel! I mean, with a goalie. I mean, that's basically what this is. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
yes.
Got to put the butterflies on the ball so she's paying attention. That's just basically what it is with Nick. And I think he can be a really good player on the Group of 5 level. He was a good player at Alabama, but you could see the writing on the wall for this. I mean, you could see it with Davin Cosby, because Davin struggled to guard, and he didn't play a lot in the rotation, and he certainly wants to play more. You can see that. And then with Chris Parker, he redshirted, did not play this year. Was a little banged up, but he was also struggling with his shot, and I don't know about him fitting, because, again, Nate Oates has said this repeatedly. With Alabama's success, and now this year they go all the way to the Final Four, they're a very popular program. They have players calling them and players wanting to come there, and it's what Scott said. You can upgrade and then not have to have the hassle of dealing with a Nick Pringle, no disrespect, but the issues that you had with him were day to day. So one day he's going to look like an NBA player, and then the next day you're thinking, did you miss your medication? I mean, what's going on with the effort and the focus?
Well, let me shift to the other guy, Griffin. Here, my real concern is, I know you mentioned Alabama looks like it's the place to go. But from a national perspective, who doesn't know Pringle like you do, that you look at 2 starters that have started many games at least. Great, I think a pretty good 3-point shooter in Griffin. Guys that look really great in the tournament. Guys, I think you don't go to the Final Four without. And yet they're both gone. If you're a national person looking at this, do you start looking at like, wow, how did Coach Oates, how did these guys get away?
Well, with Nick, with Rylan Griffin,
Mark, thanks for the phone call as well.
I think it was some tampering going on, no question about it. I think back in December, and these third parties, that this goes on. There's no guardrails to this transfer portal stuff, and I think it was a bumpy ride for Griffin as well. He had some blow-ups and some situations where he was very emotional on the bench, and where I think they had some issues with his with the way he played. But I think he did pick it up. He certainly improved as a defender, and he struggled with some shot making early, but really settled down. But again, I just think it's overall, these guys now have agents. It's kind of what Richard Hendricks just referred to. It's professional sports, and it's almost a year-to-year thing. And, Alabama's got substantial NIL right now, but not probably as much as Kansas. Scott just mentioned how much Kansas spent last year. And so, it's a choice. Coach Oates would certainly love to keep Ryland Griffin. I certainly don't think he was told to leave, but if he comes to you and says, you mentioned this with Iowa, he comes to you and says, well, Coach, I want $500,000 to stay,
Yep.
and Coach is like,
yep.
We're not paying $500,000. Adios. We're gonna find another player. And
because
so
I
that's
can
the way it
go
is.
find a player that models and does what you do
for half
the cost.
Yeah, and that's just the way it is.
That's what it's going to be.
It's what you said earlier. A few days ago, you can price yourself onto a team
Yep.
and off.
In today's world, in college athletics, that is whether you like it or not.
Yeah,
that's where we're at. Jerry is with us as well this morning. Good morning, Jerry.
Hey guys, how are y'all this morning?
Good, Jerry. How are you?
Hey, the Pringle and Griffin, first of all, NIL and the transfer portal, they're going to get a grip on it, and they've got to get a grip on it, but
Agreed.
I didn't call them talk about that.
Right.
The thing about Pringle does not fit Oates' offense at all. I mean, and he has horrible hands.
Oh,
do you agree?
The skillet hands.
I mean,
Coach Kirk skillet hands.
Yeah, that's why I called him all year. I said that all year. People love, a lot of people like Mark just called in and said he was shocked. I wasn't shocked at all.
No.
Pringle is he's not a rim protector. Oates' system is shooters and a rim protector like Bediako was year before last.
Right.
That's what we need, and he's filling the team with shooters. And Griffin was not a strong finisher, as you said at the whole. He couldn't dribble the ball. I hated when he ever started to dribble and He's a stand shooter.
Yep.
He's going
really
get
good
in the ball and he's a shooter, but he can't dribble drive because he dribbles the ball too high and he turns it over most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't. I'm not upset that I appreciate what they did, but I'm not upset that Griffin and Pringle, especially Pringle, that they're gone. I think Oates will upgrade the team with the replacements with them, and I think the team will be as good or better next year. So.
I don't disagree, Jerry. I mean, I value both kids' contributions, and I appreciate them. But if they want to move on to greener pastures, or Coach Oates wants to upgrade, I mean, look, man, the players have all the power right now, but coaches still have some power too, and it works both ways. And so it's what we've said. I mean, especially if a kid comes to you and like, well, Coach, I got X team offering me $500,000. Well, adios.
Yep.
We'll find another player.
A lot of these players are finding themselves with no home when it's all said and done. When they hear the uncle talk to them, or this person talk to them and say, "Man, you can go here." Then they end up with no team. Like Wes Neighbors, I think, said a few weeks ago. You got players that have no homes when they finish school. They don't even have an alma mater to go back to. For this or that, they have nobody to go to. They're just out there in the desert, basically by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You better make it, or you have no support when it's all said and done. So, those people that are telling you this to go here and there, they're not going to be around either. When the money's gone. So that's
no
right about it.
Well, think about this. I mean, by the time the portal closes on May 1st, thank you for the phone call, Jerry. By the time the portal closes on May 1st, just in college basketball alone, keep in mind there's only 350 around there college basketball teams, Division I. College basketball teams, and we said each program has 13 scholarship players. There's that would leave roughly 4,500 college basketball players on scholarship. There's over 2,000 basketball players, 2,000 Division I college basketball players in the portal, and there's only scholarship homes for over 4,500 guys. Right. So there's guys that are not good that think that they better than they are, and that they should be playing more than they're playing. In circumstances, they'd be better off just staying where they're at.
Yeah, and right now there's another player that Muhammad Wagi, who played a bit role at Alabama. People have asked me about him, and I thought he may end up in the portal. But from what I'm understanding, he has a complete understanding of what his role is and to stay on the squad, what he needs to do, and that's to be probably the final big on the roster. Uses 5 fouls, play with energy, play with enthusiasm. Always, and I've watched him in practice. Really good kid, talks a lot, encourages his teammates. I think he's always doing the right thing at the right time. And Muhammad Wagi, at least for now, understands what he's supposed to do, and I think the Alabama coaches are comfortable with him, and you need core guys that, even if they don't play a lot, are almost like another GA or assistant coach and play a role on the team. You've been around teams a lot, Scott, with guys like that. And I think that's why we haven't seen Muhammad Wagee go into the portal, even though he didn't play a lot, because he understands what he needs to do to stay on the squad. And I think the coaching staff is very comfortable with him right now.
All right, 7:31. Let's get a break in. When we come back, there was a big man in Arizona that supposedly wanted $1 million to have him on your roster. We'll explain all of that. Plus, we got college football news and your phone calls as well. 256-576-4977.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly cloudy to overcast sky this afternoon. We're also going to be talking about scattered showers and thunderstorms across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. With that in mind, we are going to be just a touch cooler this afternoon. Temperatures only climbing into the low and mid-70s, dropping into the low 60s as we head into the overnight. Partly sunny sky for your Thursday. Temperatures climbing back into the lower 80s, maybe an isolated shower. Better opportunity for rain returns to the Tennessee Valley as we head into the final day of the work week. Temperatures in the mid-70s on Friday. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Got a wreck reported in Decatur now at 6th and Prospect. That one's reported with some northbound blockage. Had a vehicle fire southbound Research Park near Old Madison Pike. That one should be about wrapped up now. It's National Work Zone Awareness Week, and officers, construction workers, and first responders are putting their lives on the line every time they step on the roadway. You could make it safer for them. Slow down or move over. It is the law. Captain Nick in the South Parkway Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle's time. Eagle saves you money.
Spring is in the air, making it a great time to make plans to visit the Lodge at Guntersville State Park. The Lodge at Guntersville State Park sits on a cliff overlooking beautiful Guntersville Lake with vistas from the cliffside rooms as well as the Pinecrest Room, the Lodge's premier restaurant. And as the weather warms, enjoy the gorgeous pool that overlooks the lake as well. The park also features cabins, a beach, and a boat launch, so bring your boat to take the fun to the lake. The Lodge at Guntersville State Park. Book your visit today.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. If you've been injured and need a lawyer right now, and pick up the phone to call, one you've seen on a billboard or on TV begging for your business, do you know who you really get?
I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. You want to talk to your lawyer. You don't want to reach a call center, not in some office 100 miles away. With the Lackey Law Firm, that never happens. My clients talk to me.
And me. I'm attorney Justin Lackey. We're the ones that you talk to. We're the ones that you meet with.
And we're the ones who handle your personal injury case. You want to talk to me? You just call me.
And we'll take care of it. You worry about getting well. We'll take care of the rest.
The Lackey Law Firm.
And I'll go you one better. If you can't come to us, we'll come to you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Do you have discomfort in your legs? Varicose veins can affect not only how your legs look, but how they feel. Symptoms can include pain, heaviness, aching, fatigue, or swelling at the end of the day. If this has been the case, then Varicosity Vein Center can come to your aid. Evaluation and treatment of the veins is performed as an outpatient, utilizes the latest, minimally invasive techniques, and is covered by most insurances. After treatment, patients may resume most normal activities without delay. Varicosity Vein Center now has 3 North Alabama locations, one in Huntsville on South Memorial Parkway between Drake and Airport Road. Our new locations include Madison at Madison Hospital Complex and Coleman at the Coleman Regional Sports Medical Center. You can call 256-715-7151 to set up your appointment with one of our experienced and compassionate team members, or you can visit online at varicosityveincenter.com. Varicosity Vein Center, Alabama's premier vein center.
Welcome back, Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN. Zone Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond. And let's go back out to the phone lines real fast. Brandon has been holding. Good morning, Brandon.
What's up, Brandon?
Good morning. So we're in the post days of the Masters.
Right.
And was doing a little reading the other day.
Yep.
And Fred Ridley was talking about the length of the golf course. And the Masters used to be played at around 6,900 yards. And this year it was 7,555.
Yeah.
And he's saying, I do not want to play 8,000 yards for the Masters. And they're talking about taking a robot, hitting a golf ball at 125 mile an hour with so much rotation and so much angle, and they don't want it to go plus or minus 3 yards or 317 yards. They're talking about deadening the golf ball. You can't use it, it'll be outlawed. I guess they've already deadened it once. And I'm wondering, why is it that if you're worried about your golf course, he actually said the word obsolete, I believe. If you're worried about that, why can you not design your golf course to where it doesn't benefit you to hit a 400-yard drive? All this tinkering with the ball and deadening the ball and doing these things, it's messing with golf itself. And I'm looking at some of these other golf courses you go to, the U.S. Open a few years back. You were lucky if you could even get to par for 4 rounds.
Yeah.
I think in Torrey Pines in 21, John Rahm won it, and he got to 6 under.
Well, the U.S.
and nobody
Open,
even thought they'd get there.
Well, the U.S. Open, what they'll do at the U.S. Open is they will actually change the greens. They will change everything as the week and the tournament is ongoing. They will take the water out of the greens. They will harden them. They will cut them faster. They will do things intentionally to make the scores go down. The thing with Augusta is it's based on the tradition and the history and everything. They can only expand that course so much. They can only do so much because they don't have a lot of room. They don't have a lot of room to do things, so they move some tees. They move some tees back. They take a tree down here or there. If Augusta cuts a tree down, it's news.
Oh, that's like
yes, that's
blasphemy,
huge. Yes,
right?
Yes, and so they're doing things to do it. When Tiger first came on the scene, Tiger's golf ball was different than everybody else's. Tiger was playing with, actually, when he was Nike, Tiger was playing with a Bridgestone golf ball when he first got onto the scene. They just could not put the Bridgestone logo on it because Tiger was playing with Nike. So they put the Nike swoosh on the golf ball, but it was actually a Bridgestone ball, by the way. But it was a new core. It was a different type of core inside the golf ball. And so that led to new things going on. But they're going to keep doing it, and especially at Augusta because it's just his history.
Well, I guess I'd have to say golf has got to be the only sport where the actual body, that is the entity, the PGA, doesn't supply the ball.
No, so the one thing keep in mind with the Masters is it's not, so it's part of the PGA Tour. It's on the tour, but the tour has nothing to do with the Masters. The Masters is a complete entity onto its own. That's why they can control who comes in, who gets invites, how many players are there, and all that. It is not, yes, it's part of the PGA Tour, but it's not, the PGA doesn't have much to do with it.
No. They don't have any say over the course at all.
Yes, they have nothing. It's everything is done by the Masters.
Mm-hmm.
Well, see, I was trying to figure that dynamic out because he was talking about going to 8,000 yards, and I'm thinking what you're thinking. Taking water out of the greens, maybe pyramid in the middle of the green, making it more difficult to hit your putts so that you're not basing your game on, can I go out here and hit a 350-yard, 375-yard driver? And I'm looking at that, and I was trying to figure it out, and I had messaged Drew and said something to ask Charlie Plott about that. But at what point does the PGA say, going forward, we're going to supply a universal ball to everybody. Everybody doesn't get to use their own individual ball, so we don't have to pay to test everybody's balls.
No,
I just don't see it happening. That's part of the capitalism and being able to endorse certain products.
Yep.
And everything like that. To me, I mean, Scott would know more.
Well, it's like baseball. I mean, there's different bats. Everybody,
different gloves.
Everybody, there's so many different
Cleats.
bat suppliers and all that stuff, and cleats and gloves. I mean, it's all the same. Yeah, it's just all part of it.
Well, that was a big question for me because I was sitting there thinking I did not realize that we were encroaching 8,000 yards of distance for the Masters.
Right.
I had no idea that it was getting that long. And I'm thinking, holy crap, that's like 350 yards per hole on an 18-hole average. And I mean, that's getting pretty dang long. So I guess that tells us where the technology has come from since Tiger in the late 90s to now. If you're having to lengthen a course, I guess 700 to 800 yards almost.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yep.
Appreciate it, Brandon.
Thanks, Brandon.
Interesting comments.
Yeah. Wasn't ready to.
Well, I mean, it's
golf wasn't ready to go with golf, but
no,
I
mean,
got it done. But that's in it.
He told me last night he had a question, so when it involved Charlie, I figured it was golf related. You know, he was trying to get a message out there. But I mean, like you said, Scott, I mean, that's going to be really hard to that'll never happen. You can't get everybody to use the same equipment because again, it's all about choice. There's so many different golf clubs out there, so many different golf balls, golf shoes. I mean, everything equipment wise, apparel.
So I asked you this question during the break,
right?
And it does parlay into college football. If you are an Auburn fan right now, and I know you were on the fence, there are some that were on the fence of hiring Hugh Freeze.
Right.
Because at the same time, Deion Sanders was available and out there, and he was the hot name. Not hot coach, but the hot name.
You mean Avery Prime?
Yeah. So after yesterday, I saw this yesterday, and I'm like, oh, dear Lord.
Yeah.
Auburn fans have to be rejoicing whether or not, because Hugh Freeze is actually recruiting high school guys.
Right.
Building futures.
Trying a really good class.
Yes, he is. He's pouring the foundation, hopefully, for a big thing. Mm-hmm. Colorado is going in the complete opposite direction, and it's getting worse by the minute.
Mm-hmm.
So Shiloh Sanders puts out on social media yesterday, this is what they're resorting to now.
He's the safety.
Defense transfers DM me.
Uh-huh.
Offensive transfers DM Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, I saw that on social media.
So they're going through the players now. Deion has been spoken now. He does not and will not get on a plane to go recruit high school kids.
Right.
Does not do this.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's leaving it up to the players to handle a lot of these transfer portal
things. And that'll go well, I'm sure.
I mean, I'm just sitting here thinking, I know there were some Auburn fans that, because Colorado got off to a fast start.
They were 3 or 4-0.
Big, they were getting some big names through the portal, and it was
Yeah.
like, wait a minute. Did we get it wrong? Should we have gotten Deion over Hugh Freeze? And I have to think now, with the situation that is going on in college football and everything that's going on, that Auburn fans have to be feeling a whole lot better about having Hugh Freeze than they do Deion Sanders.
I would, and I feel a whole lot better that we can go to this next guest on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. He just got inducted into the Madison County Athletic Hall of Fame. He's won 6 state championships. He's been to 13 Final Fours. He is one of the most decorated coaches in our community, and we're very proud of what he's doing at Brentwood Academy. And he's calling us live from Nashville right now, and that is Coach Andy Blackston. Coach, good morning.
Gentlemen, how are we doing this morning?
We are doing good. We would rather talk to you than talk about the transfer portal, Coach.
Yeah.
Well, you could talk about the portal all show long, man. It never ends. There's no end to the portal.
We are literally trying not to. We are literally trying not to, but it's just so hard because it's an evolving thing that is just and yet I'm sure you feel it as a high school coach because you've got a lot of talented individuals that would be playing college basketball, but because of the portal and everything, they may not be getting as many looks.
It definitely makes it harder. It's hard because of the demand for coaches to be successful. There's not a lot of time for coaches to be successful, and they're losing their players to everybody else. So it is I don't know if it's a clown show or a dumpster fire or a train wreck. I'm trying to figure out which one of those would, explain just the ripple effect of unlimited transfers. I don't know that it's good. I'm not a fan. But
no,
I'm just a high school coach.
Yeah, I understand, Coach. And how have you kind of tried to mentor your son, Drew? He's had a really good experience at Trevecca under Kevin Carroll, and I know you were very excited when he signed there, and certainly they've had a lot of success. But they also, I'm sure, have had player movement, and you have to worry about guys moving up, moving down. How do you mentor your son and even kind of help fellow coaches that you were on the college level, back at UAH and at Austin P? But I know the game has changed a lot. But I know coaches talk to one another. What advice do you give your son and other coaches?
Yeah, I mean, I just think you have to adjust your mindset because, as I played for Coach Meyer, and
yes, you did.
Obviously really close with Coach Acuff, and the version that I was taught was we want to sign kids, we want to develop them, we want to teach them our system, we want them to buy into our program philosophy, and you wait your time, and then if you do the reps right, you keep improving, you're going to have your chance. I just don't know that exists anymore. I think that's a dinosaur, and so you just have to adjust your expectations. And when I'm talking, I mean, basically everybody's a JUCO, a junior college. Used to, it was junior college is how that happened, and you had a whole new team every year in junior college. Well, now, for example, the mid-major is the junior college for high major, and D2 is the junior college for mid-major. And you keep going down the line. I mean, it's just you are not building programs as much as you're just going to have to build teams. And I was telling somebody at lunch the other day, it's like unlimited free agency and with no restrictions.
Well, we wanted to bring you in this morning not to talk transfer portal. That's not why we brought you in.
See, y'all drugged me right into that. I felt it's like the thing you really don't want to talk about.
Oh, you talk about. See, that's exactly how we feel.
Exactly.
We wanted to bring you in because, again, congratulations. Big night, man. Monday night for you, your family, being inducted into the Huntsville-Madison County Athletic Hall of Fame. Congratulations on that honor.
Thank you. You did a great job. I mean, you were working that mic, Scott. I mean, it was fun to watch you work. But I think the thing about that is this is how it works. I mean, you find out that you've been chosen, and then you start the process of saying, okay, well, who do I need to invite to this thing? And then you start inviting people, and you realize how many people have helped you in your life as a coach, and how many people have been on the journey with you in one way or the other, and you start having to make a list, and it's really like humbling. It was one of the most humbling things I did because I started to write down. It's like, oh, wow, this person, this person, this person. Oh, and I was at UH, this person. And you're like, it's just, it takes a village, right? I mean, nobody gets into a spot like that without lots of great people helping and great players helping along the way.
Yeah, I mean, you've had so many great players, so many great coaches. I thought about that too. You had a great staff there. And anytime you go to the number of Final Fours you did and you win 5 state championships. And then also the thing that struck me when I was looking at all the photos and everything from after the night and the special journey is your kids, because your kids grew up here when you and your wife moved here. And I know the city of Huntsville still means so much to you. And there was a lot of – and when you go somewhere and if you win at that kind of level – it's a special school, too, because everything has to be aligned from the president on down. There's a lot that goes into it, Coach, to being able to win at that kind of level and also do it the right way and the special place that Madison Academy is.
Well, Huntsville's a great place to raise a family, and just thankful that, opportunities open for me to be in Huntsville on two different trips, really. First it was 4 years at UAH and then off Austin P and then back to Huntsville for 16 years. So just the roots that we put down there and to raise our family in that city. And then MA is just a special place. It's a great place to send your kids to school. And both of my kids, my son Drew was a lifer, and Reese was almost a lifer until we decided to make the move to Brentwood. But it's a great place, and I went through 4 presidents there, so many assistants, and then just so many great players. And I don't know, you just sit back and you have a moment to reflect on that, and you're like, wow, that's really special.
It really is. And I mean, I know it's hard to, and I know what Lenny Acuff meant to you, because you started the journey at UAH coaching for him and then taking over the girls program. So you had your hand in a lot of basketball around our area. We pride ourselves here in the state of being the mecca of basketball. What makes Huntsville such a special basketball community, not just high school wise, but with what Coach has done with UAH and making it such a special program?
Yeah, I just think it's the Ronnie Staplers and the Coach Acuffs and the Jack Dosses and the Jerry Dugans and the Danny Petties, and I'm sure Greg Brown. I'm sure I'm leaving somebody out.
Oh yeah, there's so many.
And then all the great players. I think it's a real niche inside the state of Alabama. I mean, it might help that UAH doesn't have a football team. That might help a little, but I don't know. It was a fun place to be, super competitive. You got the Huntsville Times Classic, which is such a tradition for all the years that's been going on, and just the excitement around that tournament. And you better get there early because you can't get in, and unless you know Wade Lipscomb, and maybe he'll let you in,
right?
Or Greg Patterson. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know how to answer that other than just a lot of good people who love hoops. And I always appreciated you guys in the Steve Moultons of the world that would just make basketball important. We'd get it on the radio. We'd talk about it on shows like this. I think that all contributes to a basketball culture.
It really does.
Coach, I hope you didn't mind, but I did share yesterday with Drew the fact that you went in with Greg Brown from Lee High School, but that was the one coach you could never get over a win on while you were here.
No, it couldn't be Coach Brown. He's a good one, and he was fun. We didn't play a lot. I think we played in the Huntsville Times twice.
Right.
We didn't play a lot in the regular season, but no, I had a chance to. And all those coaches made me better. Like, you coach against Rodney Stapler, you're going to get better. You coach against Danny Petty, and just having to prepare for everything that these coaches do, or Jack Doss, all those guys, you get better. That's how you get better as a coach. You go against really good programs, and that's a big part. And we lost a bunch, but we were able to win a few. But the Greg Brown, but no, hey, I was just joking with him. And I enjoyed it. I got to sit by Ron Alexander, my favorite ref. He loved to hop into those calls and really put an extra emphasis on when he was getting that charge call. But he's a lot of fun, and we've always had a great relationship. So it was a fun night.
Well, I'd be remiss. I want to congratulate you. Your first year, you win it all at Brentwood Academy, and I know you nearly repeated. How has the transition been there? That's a very special place as well, and for them to entrust you with Brentwood. I've been over there. I've competed against their teams, been with teams that have played against Brentwood Academy. Certainly it's a very special place and another great program you're building.
Yeah, so the Nashville private school scene is just a little different than the private school scene in Huntsville. It's I don't know, it feels a little bit more like coaching at a small college maybe than
I can see that.
Just because of the affluency in this area and the price tag on these schools and just the vibe in Nashville. It's just, and a lot of rivalries. I think that's the one thing I probably enjoyed the most is, we go play NBA. Well, BA and NBA have been a rivalry for 30, 40 years.
Wow, yeah.
Or it's Lipscomb, whereas, in Alabama, that was the unfortunate thing about one of the collateral damage of competitive balance is for private schools, it just destroys your rivalry. MA used to have rivalry with Westminster or Randolph or Madison County or New Hope, those kind of schools that used to be kind of a big game. And I got to where I really missed that because, our area would change every 2 years.
Right.
And so you kind of destroy those rivalries. But it's been good. It's a challenge because it's so competitive. Drew's doing great at Trevecca.
Oh, he is. Yeah.
so thankful. They had a great year. Reese, who's my daughter, who's a junior here with me at BA, is thriving. And then my wife got a job at Lipscomb University, and that's where we met. She just loves that. So it's been a great move. It was the right time to move, just get a new challenge and a fresh start. So it was fun to walk into this kind of situation, and fortunately we've been able to have success.
It's funny how it all evolves, isn't it? That Trevecca now will be in the Gulf South Conference where you spent so much time. I mean, it's funny. It's just how everything works, doesn't it?
It is, and hey, shout out to UAH women's basketball for hiring my old roommate, Alan Sharp.
Wow, there you go. The small world after all,
that.
Man.
Me and Alan played together at Lipscomb University, and I'm talking about one tough player now. He was tough as nails. He may be small, but he's got a lot of fight in him. But a great coach, has been a lot of different places. So I was really excited about that hire, happy for him and his family. And he's got a daughter that is really, really good that plays for Coleman. So that's going to be a great move for UH. Congrats to Cade and all those guys there.
Yeah, and we're excited for Mick Hedgebeth, too. He played at Belmont. So all these connections to Nashville. You're just down the road, but we're still following your career very closely. We're very proud of you. And you're one of my favorite people. It was awesome to get to know you, man, and to experience what you've done and what you did at MA, and now what you're continuing to do in mentoring young men at Brentwood Academy. Continued success, Coach. And I know you got a busy schedule, but we appreciate you for joining us.
You guys have a great day.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks. Andy Blackston with us, man. It was so good to see him, and I tell you what, he has overcome so much. And we didn't even have a chance to get into him battling the brain tumor and fighting all of that and overcoming that and still being able to coach basketball.
Yeah, because I heard about all of that like after the fact.
Yes.
Like that was crazy, but it just goes to show you God has his hand on you.
Yep.
And he did on Coach, and we'll be able to hopefully talk about that at another time. But I know,
that's a conversation that
that would be we would need a longer segment for that.
Yes, that's a hard thing to get into.
And we were talking about Coach Avery Prime and the transfer portal, so we had to get a little take on that.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Auburn fans are glad Deion Sanders is not down on the plains.
Yep.
I'm glad that they are. All right, let's get that hour break in. Commercial breaks? They're a good thing.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Unlike other credit cards that decline sports betting transactions or treat them as a cash advance, the GBank Visa Signature Card can load directly to your favorite sportsbook apps. G.bank/VSiN.
NBA last night, the Lakers beat the Pelicans 110-106 to advance past the play-in round to get the 7th seed in the Western Conference. New Orleans was favored by 1.5. Sacramento beat Golden State 118-94. The Kings went into the game as 3.5-point underdogs. The Kings will face the Pelicans this Friday night to determine the 8th seed. The Eastern Conference matchups are tonight, with Philadelphia favored by 5.5 at home against Miami. The winner clinches the 7th seed. The losing team will go on to play the winner of the Bulls-Hawks matchup. Chicago is favored by 3.5 against Atlanta. Get the latest lines and more at vsin.com.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
All right, welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond, and man, oh man. So on Monday, I mentioned this Tuesday.
Right.
That the one good thing about going and attending the Huntsville-Madison County Athletic Hall of Fame is because, number one, I get a chance to be around all of the inductees that night. And it's an amazing class every year. This year was no exception.
No question.
But the best part is walking through the crowd beforehand and afterhand and reconnecting with so many people. There was over 800 people there.
Oh, it was loaded,
on
man.
Monday.
I saw a picture of the crowd, man. It was
But
unbelievable.
to see the coaches, to see the people that I've known for and have met over the last 20-some years, 25 years, is just amazing. And it's a who's who of sports in Madison County, in the area, and they all come back, and it's great. And you reconnect with so many people, but it's the inductees that are great. And you learn a lot. I mean, I'm still learning names of people and their accomplishments before I got here that I didn't even know of. And to be honest with you, Jay Shear, learning about his accomplishments in this Grissom basketball team and you know, knowing Coach Stapler, but learning even more every time that you're around them is just masterful.
Yeah, we just learned another new fun fact with Alan Sharp and Andy Blackson being roommates. Who would have thought that?
Didn't know that, yeah.
I mean, and we're going to learn some more with our next guest. After I finally got everything worked out here where we were playing some phone tag, but I've never met this gentleman, but I got to tell you, I grew up here, and the first basketball team I ever remember hearing about as a 12-year-old, 13-year-old, from my dad and from people all over the city was the 1988 Grissom Tigers. I mean, I know Johnson won it in 87, but this 88 team, especially considering I'm from South Huntsville, this was the team that the OGs, man, that you always heard about. And this next guest was
I got to sit by him.
Yeah.
We were seated together
and I know,
on the table.
I know a couple of his teammates really well, especially Brooks Bryant, who was MVP of the state tournament. But this is the dude that was the alpha, the leader, the best all-around player. And it's an honor to be able to speak with him. And I'll be honest, I didn't even realize he wasn't in yet in the Hall of Fame, but he certainly deserves it. He's one of the greatest players in Huntsville City history, and that's Jay Shearer, and he's with us this morning on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Jay, you're with Drew and Scott. Good morning, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. Those are words are too kind. I appreciate it, and good to talk to you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I also know your former teammate William Plott really well. He told me a lot of stories about you guys, and when I was a kid, I'd go to the Southeast Y, during the summers, and a lot of your teammates was working over there. So I just got a chance to be around and hear stories about that team so much. And my father, it was when I was starting to get into basketball. My father and my late great uncle actually watched you guys win it. I wasn't there, but they told me about the journey, about you guys winning it in Tuscaloosa. It was really those back-to-back years with Coach Petty and Coach Stapler was a huge breakthrough for the city. And those memories for me are really nice. In a way, I wish I could have seen the team play, but it's almost mythical when you hear the stories. And for you to go into the Hall is a great thing. And I can tell that the coolest part about that 88 squad is how tight-knit you guys seem to still be.
Yeah, we still stay connected. This event brought us a lot closer. Had a opportunity to meet up with some of the guys that I hadn't seen in a while. Had guys travel from Atlanta here, and it was great to see them. Saw some parents, and the interesting thing about the team was I don't think anybody realizes the year before we won the championship, I think we won 6 games.
Wow.
So we, as Coach Stapler used to say, we went worst to first. And that was a claim. And the stories, we have to hear the stories. We still hear the stories, and some of them are true, and some of them have been embellished over time. So we get to, I like to hear them and then like to catch the points that are actually true in them.
So what was it about that team, that last to first, because you were part of it, the last to the first journey? What was it? What was it about the team, the journey? How did that even come to be?
Looking back on it, it all clicked during the summer.
Yeah.
This team spent a lot of time in the gym. Coach Stapler was always about, get in the gym, get in the weight room, get in there and play together. Certainly nothing organized, but there plus summer basketball, it just all of a sudden clicked. And man, it just somebody, Andy said last, it takes a village. Even on the team here, there were a lot of unique talents that you just kind of put all of the unique talents together. Guys that could handle the basketball, guys that could shoot, guys in the post, and we were well-rounded. And honestly, looking back on it, I think everybody respected everybody's individual talents. And together, I think in the interview, and they didn't play it during the ceremony, but together we were a whole lot better than we were individually. And I look back on it, and I'm so thankful for everybody's individual talents, and then everybody respecting everybody's individual talent.
Well, and one thing, I was reading a blog, the former teammate Scott Stapler, he was on that team, I think he said you guys were 11-0 in tournament play, which is really amazing stat.
Yeah, there's a couple of stats like that one's true as well. And you can validate the Coach Stapler the other night said we may have been the only team to win state tournament games on the same day. So we played in the morning and the afternoon. So there's all kinds of little fun facts about that team, and that 11-0 run in tournament is right. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you just shared that too, because back in those days, the state tournament was an Elite Eight event. It was in either Tuscaloosa or Auburn. You guys won it in Tuscaloosa. I went many times, and sometimes they would split the state tournament. But that is something that people, I know they do it in the Huntsville City Classic a lot, where you play twice in a day. But having to do that to win a state championship in basketball, that would blow a lot of people's minds.
Yeah, and it was, I think, number one. LaFleur was number one. We beat them in the morning, and I think, and when Jeff Davis at night, he was a number 2 team in the state at the time. So, fun little facts like that come out, and it's good to reminisce about those.
Yeah, that was funny. And if I remember right, Jeff Davis had a big lead in the semifinals, but kept all of their starters in that morning. And the feeling was if you could get to the third quarter in that championship game, Grissom would have a great chance because Jeff Davis would be tired.
Yeah, I don't remember all those details, but I do remember, I think we were discounted. I think everybody discounted us. They didn't really respect us, and that was fine. I think the history is written, and we wrote it well, and a lot of those details kind of escape your memory over time, and you end up going back more to teammates and Coach Stapler used to tell us, you're not going to remember the score. You're going to remember who you played with, and that is honest-to-goodness truth. Don't remember a lot of the details. There are a few details here and there that I remember, but it's really about the people.
Last spring, we had a chance to honor head coach Ronnie Stapler with our Rocket City Award, our Lifetime Achievement Award for his accomplishments along his stops, and a lot of that has to do with his Grissom success. What did Coach Stapler mean to you throughout this whole journey?
Yeah, I sort of touched on it in the ceremony, but I go a little bit deeper here. You really don't appreciate what you're being taught when you're being taught it. At least I wasn't mature enough at the time to really understand it. I'm 53 years old now, looking back on 18. I still take a lot of what he taught me, and it might have been about basketball at the time, but it was just about life. It was about organization. It was about your talents, what you're good at. It was about, pushing people, how far to push people, and how to get the most out of people. And it was, and I translate a lot of that into business these days. And he kind of still lives on through me in my day-to-day activities, and so I'm just grateful for it.
And I thought it was interesting too, and I didn't realize it until I studied it after I got older, but how that you and Brooks kind of went on the same journey in college. It was just sort of, and from talking to Brooks, that wasn't really the plan. It's just sort of how it worked out.
It certainly wasn't the plan. But you're right. I was headed to East Carolina, and Brooks got the opportunity to go there as well. And after transferring, Brooks comes down to Northwestern as well. A little known fact: Scott Stapler and I were roommates at Northwestern for 1 year as well.
Mm-hmm.
So those roots continue to run deep. But yep.
Yeah, no question. And I'll give my dad a shout out because he told me that he would come home and kind of give me the replays of what happened. But when he saw you guys, beat LaFleur, and then, he and my great uncle were discussing it, and they were trying to decide, what and measure and kind of break down the Jeff Davis Grissom matchup. I remember he told me, he goes, he brought his exact words were what you were talking about. He's like, yeah, a lot of people weren't picking Grissom. He said, but after watching the way they were playing and kind of how connected they were, he's like, I thought they were gonna beat Jeff Davis. He goes, once they beat LaFleur. He's like, I just sort of, he said, I was telling people around the Coleman Coliseum that you better not sleep on Grissom. I think this is, everything's kind of aligning for them, and it certainly did for you guys. What's your best memories of that game and how you guys beat a talented squad like that, Jay?
Couple of things. Number one, it seemed like in LaFleur and Jeff Davis at times, it didn't look like we were going to win. I know against LaFleur, they were handing it to us pretty good at halftime. And Coach Stapler, in between the first and the second game, he reminded me that we went to McFarland Mall there in Tuscaloosa. And he said he was all stressed out and sitting on a concrete bench. And most people don't know I was sick for the first two games of the tournament. And I came up to him and told him, I said, Coach, about 103 temperature, for the last 3 days, but my temperature broke this morning, so it's going to be okay. And so we had a good laugh about that. But the memory that I remember most is number one, the hug with Coach Stapler, and then looking up into the crowd, and I think another Hall of Famer, Spike McCrory.
Oh wow!
Nice. In the Hall of Fame, yeah. Spike was, I think, at Tuscaloosa at the time.
There you go.
And I remember Spike leaning over the railing and just showing all this excitement. And I remember seeing all of the fans there. And so, it's not the individual plays. It's the people that were around you and that supported you. And I'm just grateful for it.
Jay Shear, kind enough to join us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. A part of the 2024 Huntsville-Madison County Athletic Hall of Fame class, to sit up there with everybody on Monday night, a star-studded class going in, accomplishments left and right for you, your family there. Have you had a chance, though, to kind of just soak it all in now after a little bit?
I have, and I tried to hug everybody and tell everybody thank you. And I need to get around to texting people and calling people, but I'm just so thankful when I started calling people or texting people or letting them know I'd been, selected. Almost everybody said yes, and everybody showed up, and I was amazed at the support that I had, and it almost became overwhelming because the more people I asked, the more people said yes, and it got overwhelming for me, the amount of support and the feedback, and so it was a relief to kind of get it over with. And now just looking back on it, first of all, if anybody's listening, thank you for coming. If I didn't get to give you a hug, I certainly appreciate it, and it was an awesome night, and I looked at all of the inductees from the very beginning of time all the way through last night, and so many of the people that are in I played with or played for or went to their basketball camps, even outside of Grissom, went to Jerry Dugan's basketball camp, and pretty elite little group there, and I'm just super excited to be part of it.
Well, it's been an honor to speak with you. This is my first opportunity, but like I say, I appreciate what you and your teammates did. It still looked back upon with a lot of pride, And certainly we take a lot of pride in knowing that we feel like we're the mecca of basketball in the state, and a big part of that is what Grissom accomplished in 88, what Johnson accomplished in 87, all the championships we've had a chance to be a part of. We had some this year as well, but certainly that Grissom team is very fondly remembered for what they did and breaking through for the city and for that school, their first state championship ever. That's some history right there, and we certainly applaud your career, and it's very, very well deserved that you go into the Hall of Fame, and we congratulate you and your family, and we appreciate you for taking some time to reminisce and talk some hoops with us this morning.
Yes, sir. Enjoyed the talk, and appreciate everything you guys do.
Appreciate it, Jay.
Thanks, Jay.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, there you go. Jay Shearer, kind enough to join us, a member of the 2024.
Bad dude in a good way. That's what I always heard about Jay, man.
Yeah. Oh, great guy. It's always fun. I love the fact, and when I go into this, I am curious to see, because we do the inductions alphabetical.
Right.
But when we bring
That's
them
why
out
Ramsey
on
was
stage,
last.
when we bring them out on stage, they're not alphabetical. So I don't know who I'm going to get to sit next to every year.
So you don't know.
I don't know. So it's always fun to figure out who I'm going to be sitting next to during the banquet. And this year I got to sit next to Jay.
Nice.
And so it was really good.
That's why you wrote the number on the napkin. And then I screwed it up and had the wrong number.
Well, I was like, I got to get your number. And so I got the number, and I was like, I didn't want to lose it.
Hey, Ramsey, man, we tried to call you this morning accidentally. I just hope it didn't wake you up, brother. I didn't. Somehow your number ended up on Jay's contact. I apologize for that, brother. We had a great conversation with you yesterday. So, look, yesterday I dropped an S-bomb accidentally, so I'm just going to drop this bomb and we screwed this up. I apologize that we had to play phone tag with Jay.
I didn't screw it
up. But, hey, I'm sorry. I'm wearing it here.
I did good to get, because you were like, hey, see if you can get these guys on the show. And I was like, no problem. I was going to do it. So we got Kenneth Darby coming up. I got, I did it all, lined it all up, got all these numbers, and I was like, crap, if I forget to put this number into my phone.
And I thought I did. And then I put the contact in, and then I'm looking at it, and Ramsey Robinson's face pops up. I'm like, I'm in trouble.
So I'm in big trouble. The numbers so that you would have them in case I lose them.
Lord.
And we still messed it up. All right.
Well, I mean, I don't think he picked up. I mean, Manny did tell me he called the number once.
Look, it takes a lot to get Ramsey on the show.
This is just another story for this show that we share with everybody.
Why not? Why not? All right, let's get a break in. Hey, 256-576-4977. That's our number.
Yeah.
If you want to talk to us, feel free to do so. We're going to break. We got room next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Got a wreck on Huntsville Browns Ferry near Gray Road. That one's being reported as an injury type. And we picked up one northbound on the Parkway near Mythwood. No report of injury there, but we may have some road blockage. Expert heart care backed by advanced technology. If you need cardiac care, you need the Heart Doctor. Dr. Randall Burns and the team at Huntsville Heart Specialist on Bob Wallace Avenue. Captain Nick in the South Parkway Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on advancedlifeclinic.com.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at GenSuperstore.com.
If you knew a local restaurant was featured on America's Best Restaurants on YouTube's Bring the Heat, would you not want to try it? Of course you would. So come on down to Lo Capone's and enjoy authentic Italian food and live entertainment daily. Everything is made fresh at Lo Capone's. Mama's secret lasagna recipe, the pizza dough, the sauces, all made fresh daily. And Lo Capone's bar is fully stocked to round out your dining experience. In Florence and now in Huntsville on University Drive. Come on down to Lo Capone's.
That's the price you pay. Leave behind your heart and cast away.
Oh, boy. Tell you what.
I'm sorry, Ramsey. We didn't mean to wake you up, bruh.
I tell you what we need, though. I don't even know if we have control over it or not.
Yeah.
But, hell, we need Talent Heating and Air to save us some damn money right now.
Where's the air horn? Save us some money.
It is hotter than...
I know he went to see our friend Joe Hunk yesterday, so we need you in here today, brother.
Good Lord.
Hey, at least I got shorts on. You do too.
I know. I know.
I think I have lost 2 pounds though.
Feel like I just need some water. We're sitting in a...
Hey, I'm drinking some...
It's not as hot, though, as what it is probably later in the afternoon.
Oh, Lord.
So...
Yeah. And the sun don't go down to like 8 o'clock, so...
I know.
And then we got your lights in here. Let there be light.
Well, they're not producing a lot of
Well, I
heat,
mean,
though.
they're right on us, though. I mean, you know, so it's making it hotter.
Oh, anyway. Let's see here. Here we go. Hey, in case you haven't heard.
Right.
Wanted to go Harry Doyle on us.
Uh-oh.
In case you haven't heard, and judging by the attendance, you haven't. Remember that from Major League?
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, it's not baseball related.
Yeah.
Caden Proctor is at Alabama. And he plans to enroll.
Shocker.
In the fall. I was just going to say.
He put no contact on his.
I was going to say.
Since we've been talking transfer portal all day.
But, okay, so Caden Proctor played. The question, though, that I do have, and it is a big fit for Al, and I say big in literally and figuratively way. 6'7", 360 pounds. You watched Alabama in 8A, and I know. You can't take a lot away, but you can take some things away because you can see the pace on offense that Washington wants, or not Washington, but Alabama wants to play. The same pace that Washington played last year with Kalen DeBoer. Caden Proctor comes in 6'7", 360 pounds. And that offense last year from Alabama, they wanted to black and blue you a little bit. They're lining up and all that other stuff. What does Caden Proctor need to be at, do you think, after seeing the pace that Alabama wants to play at? I don't think he can play 6'7", 360 pounds in this pace.
I think he needs to be, around 320, 330. And they struggle with pass protection a lot of the spring. And so that's a huge key. That's why having him back at left tackle be big.
Right.
And then they may need a right tackle. I mean, we've talked about that. So, Alabama, whoever the visits they start lining up in the portal are going to be very interesting. Now, it does seem to me that the football visits don't move as quickly as the basketball stuff.
Right.
Where they're like, you line up these visits. Some of them are 1 day, some of them are 2 days, and sometimes you go on a visit and you just commit, and then it's over. So Well,
it depends on how much you get paid.
Well, that too, but I think a lot of it in football, I think they're being selective a little bit too. You got to make sure, and again, you got 85 guys in football. You've got, really your top, 44 because you got 11 on each side of the ball. So you're probably being a little bit more methodical. In basketball, you got 13 dudes, and and as a basketball coach, you know what you need, okay? And so you're aggressively going out and grabbing it. And also, if you're in Alabama, you have to be selective. Is this the right offensive tackle? Because you sure as hell don't want to waste your money. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to sign a guy that's not very good. And so who ends up being a lot like the Buffs. You know what I'm saying? Where you suck.
I'm telling you.
And then
you see what's going on. Because how about this name? And this was a name that on the football side.
I think I know what you're fitting to say.
Cormani McClain.
Yeah, Cormani Moneybags.
He wanted money.
From what I understand with that situation, Alabama was in the thick of it. I think he committed 2 other times, and with Miami, Florida, and then he kept reopening it. And Saban was coming to see him, but then they found out the price tag, and Saban was like, "Nah, I'm good." The kid. I don't think they felt like the price tag was worth the headaches and worth the kid's talent, and I think they could see the writing on that wall. And I certainly wasn't surprised when he barely played at Colorado, and he couldn't get on the field for Coach Prime. But the funny thing is, Deion doesn't like collectives. He will go on the record and say that. Yet they're going out here and buying people. They are. He doesn't like collectives. He likes NIL. And his 2 sons are making a lot of money as far as name, image, and likeness. But now, for them to be approving to the transfers on each side of the ball, though, that seems like to me to be a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Well, if you are not a fan of the unlimited transfers, you better get over it and get over it in a hurry.
Yeah.
Because the Division I Council, the NCAA Division I Council, will meet tomorrow. And that is where they're expecting, it's expected that they officially change the transfer rules to allow players to transfer multiple times without ever sitting out. There's no more sitting out anymore, probably
that's
after.
Just damn dumb. I don't mind them letting them do it one time, but then you ought to have to graduate and then move on again. Hell, they used to make you sit out. I don't understand this. This is like Bidenomics or something. It's like stupidity. Look, they deserve.
Just be careful.
They deserve freedom of movement. But
yes.
They got too much freedom of movement,
yes.
And then there's no regulations on this NIL stuff either. But it works both ways. If you ain't producing, don't pay them.
Well, that's what's going to happen now, especially on the football side.
If
you come in and you want to transfer multiple times, great. I'm going to cut you. I'm going to send you out the door if you're not producing what I brought you in here for to do.
Yeah. So, like Cormani, Moneybags.
Well,
and it's like a new car too. Your value depreciates pretty dang quick. I don't care if he was a 5-star talent.
Well,
there's probably not a lot of people worried about that right now.
Look how many guys that found themselves in the transfer portal in December found a new school in January and have gone through spring.
And some are moving again.
And some are moving again because they didn't like whatever it was at their new school during the spring.
Proctor never even went through a spring practice with Iowa.
No.
At all.
No.
Before going back.
Never went through a spring practice. Think about that.
Yeah, crazy, man. And he was at the A-Day game, and went back into the portal officially and is coming to Alabama. I think everybody knows that, and now he just needs to.
He probably never even attended a class at
probably.
Iowa.
Probably didn't. I don't know. He may have had a tenderloin sandwich. I don't know.
Or 2 or 3.
No, let's not have 2 or 3.
He could have eaten 2 or 3.
He didn't need to.
Let's get a break in.
He's a big one. He's plenty big.
Hey, the Reese's Senior Bowl announcing their Hall of Fame class even as we speak.
Right.
And there's a couple familiar state of Alabama names on that list. We'll run it all down when we return.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly cloudy to overcast sky this afternoon. We're also going to be talking about scattered showers and thunderstorms across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. With that in mind, we are going to be just a touch cooler this afternoon. Temperatures only climbing into the low and mid-70s, dropping into the low 60s as we head into the overnight. Partly sunny sky for your Thursday. Temperatures climbing back into the lower 80s, maybe an isolated shower. Better opportunity for rain returns to the Tennessee Valley as we head into the final day of the work week. Temperatures in the mid-70s on Friday. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
It's got a wreck on 565. This one's eastbound about halfway between Greenbrier and County Line. It looks like the blockage is in the left lane. It looks like they're pushing traffic over to the right, but it's a slow go there. There appears to already be a wrecker on the scene. Got Parkway and Mountain Gap northbound, and they just upgraded Huntsville Browns Ferry and Gray Road to a no injury. You could win a new Jeep Compass at the 40th Annual Bloomin' Festival Art and Craft Fair. It's the 21st and 22nd. That's this weekend, adjacent to Ave Maria Grotto in Coleman. Over 180 artists and craftsmen, great food, music, and more. Captain Nick in the 72 and Jeff Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
AL cert number 21014.
Are those high utility bills driving you crazy this time of year? If they are, Talent Heating and Air has the special for you.
That's right. We're going to run a $49 spring checkup on your system. We're going to come out, we're going to check those heat kits, make sure that everything was working through the winter right, and then we're going to also make sure your Freon's good, make sure that you're ready for the summertime.
How important is that to be done this time of year?
It's really the most important time of the year. We can avoid safety concerns caused by wintertime use, and then we can also make sure that you're ready for the summertime.
And to get ready for the summertime, you just got to call
256-503-4490.
Or you can find them online at
talenthvac.com.
That's Talent Heating and Air. One more time,
256-503-4490.
Talent Heating and Air. Let them save you money.
Forgiveness. Wow, what a word. What a gift. All of us have done things in our lives that we regret. All of us have done things that are disobedient. All of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Thank God for his forgiveness. Thank God that he separates our sins as far as the east is from the west and remembers them no more. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. Check us out at cpcfamily.org.
You don't have to go somewhere else just so you can go somewhere new. Plan your next vacation with Huntsville International Airport and Breeze Airways. Enjoy friendly, convenient, nonstop travel to some of the most exciting destinations in the U.S., including the home of iconic casinos, world-class shows, dining, and entertainment. Las Vegas. With flights starting as low as just $79, Breeze has got you covered with easy, breezy, nonstop flights to Las Vegas. Book nonstop to Las Vegas now at flybreeze.com.
Alumni Hall is the ultimate shopping destination for Auburn and Alabama fans. Get your baseball gear, graduation gifts, or cheer on your team with the newest apparel, hats, and accessories for the entire family. Shop the newest collection of top brands like Nike, Adidas, Champion, Columbia, Yeti, New Era, plus 2 for $38 shirts. Sign up for the Alumni Hall Hall Pass rewards and earn $10 for every 150 points accumulated. Come see us at Alumni Hall near Belk in the Bridge Street Town Center. Alumni Hall, where the best fans shop.
All right, so you are a head coach of a college basketball program. Welcome back, by the way, Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone. You are the head coach of a college basketball program. They tell you your collective has some money to spend. You're looking over the landscape of college basketball on your roster, and you identify the 5 spot, we'll say the big guy, as a player of need.
Yeah.
You start looking, you're looking. somebody becomes available and the price tag is $1 million. $1 million for a college guy.
They can't make a free throw, and it's basically just a dunker.
Are you willing to spend $1 million if your job is on the line?
Not on whatever the hell his name is. Gallo's his last name, or is it Dallo? I'm sorry.
Ballo.
Something. The guy from Arizona.
7-foot big man. Averaged 12.9 points a
12.9 points for $1 million.
10.1 rebounds. And the reason why I asked that question is because Jeff Goodman said yesterday that the believed asking price for Ballo from Arizona was $1.2 million to have him on your college roster for next fall. Now, Indiana has landed the big guy. It's not known if Indiana spent $1.2 million, but the price tag, the believed shopping price tag for a 7-foot center in college basketball was $1.2 million.
Man, that is nuts. For a guy, I mean, I know he averages a double-double, but Brandon Miller, okay, I could dig it. I could dig, $1 million for a guy with that kind of impact. It's one of the best players in all of college basketball. Even Zach Edey, okay? That guy's a double-double machine, and he's averaging 25 points a game, 24 points a game. But nah, this Gallo, Dallo, Palo, I don't know how the hell whatever.
Ballo.
Okay.
Ballo. I assume it's Ballo.
He's a good player. I've watched Ballo play. He was physical. He hurt Alabama when they beat the Tide, but I mean, he's not a good free throw shooter. I think he's basically a 5-foot-and-in guy, and he's not a great rim protector. I'm not paying, $1.2 million. I mean, for that.
They don't know if Indiana paid that much for him.
Right.
But the believed asking price, when he left Arizona, the believed asking price was $1.2 million.
Mm-hmm. Well, and Jeff Goodman said something else too, and I'm sure this will be a point of contention with their agents. But first of all, make sure you have a written contract where you're getting paid at certain times, and you know that that's guaranteed now. Because if you don't have a written contract, like we've already been saying, if you ain't producing, you ain't getting paid. And then these agents, I don't know what kind of cut they're getting, but you better look at the contract and even if you get like $1 million like you're talking about, Scott,
right,
or several $100,000, if you're giving up 20%, that's a huge chunk. And let's not forget, too, taxes. Hell, I just paid them. You know what I'm saying? So, the tax situation, you still getting taxed.
Oh, it's just, it's sad. In a way, it's very sad. Because average guys, I don't know. Oh, well, it's like you could spend a lot of time talking about it, but there's a lot of other stuff to get through as well. On a good note, on a fun note, the Reese's Senior Bowl announcing their Senior Bowl Hall of Fame class. And one of the first names, I believe it's the first name that they released. How about this? 2006 Senior Bowl alum from Alabama. You want to take a guess at it?
One D'Amico
Ryans, yes. D'Amico Ryans going in to the Senior Bowl Hall of Fame, the first guy that they announce.
And he should. I mean, he's one of the all-time great players at the University of Alabama. This was right before Nick Saban. But he was a great, great player, SEC Defensive Player of the Year. He was a standout at what was then Jess Lanier High School before he came to the university. And then after these NFL scouts, probably half of them got canned, let him slip to the first pick of the second round because they questioned his instincts, even though he made every tackle defensively and played on all the special teams, but they questioned his instincts because they're stupid. And probably, again, got fired or retired. But he had a great pro career, a long one with the Houston Texans, and then, with the Philadelphia Eagles. And then he's just been an outstanding coach. I mean, he did a great job as DC with the 49ers in helping, Kyle Shanahan reach another Super Bowl and not win it. But, hell, that's Shanahan's fault, not DeMeco's. And then DeMeco in his first year with the Texans completely turns that franchise around. And now they're a dark horse pick to get to the AFC Championship game potentially and even make a Super Bowl run with a young quarterback like C.J. Stroud, a huge building block on defense like Will Anderson, and then just what they've done in free agency. And DeMeco's just a leader of men, man. I mean, we've heard the great Hall of Famer John McClain on the drive talk about DeMeco, and he's just cut from a special cloth.
The second name that they release, Roddy White.
Oh, what a great player for UAB. Yeah, great pro career.
The third name that they release, how about this one? Marty Lyons.
Yeah, what a great player, man. And he still works and does New York Jets games to this day. He was part of the New York Sack Exchange and, of course, was a huge part of the goal line stand and Coach Bryant's, last two national championships in 78 and 79. And Marty Lyons, just one of the greats, man. One of the royalty, a guy on the all-century team, and he should be. He's a great, great player.
And another name that they just released a minute ago, Carson Palmer.
Oh, yeah. He is probably the one SC quarterback that hasn't gagged in the NFL.
Oh, boy.
Most of them have
You're
been
right,
flops.
though. You are absolutely correct about that.
Well, they have. I mean, they've been flops, and just watch it with Caleb Chilane here. I'm just telling you.
It all started with Todd Marinovich.
Oh, Lord.
Am I wrong with that one?
Hell no. Whew. That was rough.
That dude was raised to be a quarterback in ways that just, whew.
Man.
So that happens when you get to taste the
And
cheeseburger
let me correct
for the
myself,
first
too.
time.
Marty was actually not on the 79 team, the one that won back-to-back. He was on the goal line stand team in 78, but he did not play on that 79 team that beat Lou Holtz like a rented mule in the Sugar Bowl to win back-to-back
Would make you
championships.
happy, right?
Yeah, it would, but but Marty was still a great, great player and was a huge part of that goal line stand and that defense, and was the 1978 SEC Defensive Player of the Year, and then played forever in the NFL. I mean, I think he was part of one of the great calls by an NFL official in history, Scott. If you Google it, the one where you give him the business. That's what the official said, that he was giving him the business. I think Marty was giving somebody the business.
Oh, let's give somebody the business.
And save them some money.
Man.
Well, hey, we got to brace yourself for tomorrow. It's getting up to 85. Woo!
It could be a little toasty in here tomorrow.
Yeah, I hope it'll be fixed. We got
be a little toasty in here.
We got some hats on the TV screen too,
I keep seeing that dude. I mean, I'm like,
look like Luigi.
I was gonna say the exact same thing. I saw the big orange hat at first.
Yeah,
and
I thought Luigi.
I was like, wow, where do you get you one of those?
Wow.
Anyway, though, if you are like us and you are sweating just sitting in your chair, 256-503-4490.
You can call Talent Heating and Air.
Talent Heating and Air.
That's right.
You can save you some money.
Hey, that's Joe Hung. They said, you hear our commercials? He's like, all the time.
Yes, someone to save me some money. Oh, hell, we got to get to a break. Let's get to a break.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Looks like they have cleared the lanes eastbound on 565. It's about halfway between County Line and Greenbrier. They've moved it over to the right side of the road, but it's going to take a while for all that traffic to recover. Parkway and Mountain Gap northbound may still be trying to clear, and Huntsville, Browns Ferry, and Gray Road reported with an injury. Hemsey got canceled on it, but it still may be working. Snelling needs a motivated team member with purchasing and warehouse experience. It's an immediate hire. Snelling, how the area's best companies hire talent. Huntsville.snelling.com. Captain Nick in the 72 and Jeff Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
It's a beautiful day for a ball game.
Here it comes, and there it goes. Fly ball, deep left field, way back. This one is up. This one is gone.
Grab your peanuts and Cracker Jacks and get ready to cheer on the Tide.
Called third strike, a slider lower inside corner.
The Tide plays here all season long.
Here's a spin. Here's Bowman's throw home. The slide, and he's safe.
On your home for Alabama baseball, the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
I'm here today with Dr. Tracy Lowry of Veracity Vein Center. Now, how does someone suspect they have vein issues?
The most common symptoms associated with vein issues include leg heaviness, aching, and swelling, with some patients having visible veins as well. Vein issues can be easily diagnosed using ultrasound, with treatments performed as an outpatient using the latest minimally invasive techniques. Diagnosis and treatment is covered by most insurances. Both men and women have vein issues, though men may be more likely to ignore their symptoms when they're playing golf or walking the stadium steps. They too will benefit from correction of their vein problem. Patients can contact our clinics in Huntsville and new clinics in Madison and Coleman at 256-715-7151 or visit us at veracityweincenter.com.
Veracity Vein Center, Alabama's premier vein center.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary. But it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Hey folks, Bob Baumhauer here. We're extremely proud that Baumhauer's Victory Grill has been serving Alabama for 43 legendary years. Our motto is legendary fun, legendary food, and we strive to make every dining experience a special one for all of our guests. Our menu features delicious, always fresh and scratch-made in-house recipes. And of course, our award-winning wings and sauces. And don't forget, our happy hour and halftime daily specials cannot be beat. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Let's go out to the phone lines real fast.
Hey there.
Yeah, let's visit with Grumpy this morning. Good morning, sir.
Hey, man, I just think thanks for having that interview with Jay Shear. It was fun to hear. I'm glad you guys do interviews like that. And,
awesome, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, at South Alabama in the dorms, we used to play a game called Scott Stapler, and you had to take a shot every time you made a three. And I remember we went through a kraut handle with about 20 people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We were searching for, by halftime, like, we're searching for another bottle. But that was a special team, and I wish that Jeff Hill had a little bit, running back then, had a little bit more help, because that guy was special to watch run, and he was, I think, a year ahead of those guys.
Gotcha.
Anyway, I don't think Jeff had the blocking that he needed, but he was the best running back to come through Grissom. But thanks for doing that interview, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Grumpy. Appreciate you holding, man.
Yeah, those are fun. And like I said,
I mean,
you get to reconnect with a lot of people when you do that, and it's fun to.
That's why we focus on it for a week or two
Yes.
afterwards, because you get a chance, like you said, Scott, to reconnect with so many great athletes that came through the city, see what they're doing now.
And some of them are not. Some of them grew up here.
Yeah.
Some of them had family here, but some
Right.
of them have moved away.
They have.
And they come back for this banquet. They come back for the
They
Hall of
do,
Fame
yeah.
banquet. And that's when you get to really reconnect with them and find out, hey, this is what they've been up to. This is what they're doing. And that's why it's unique in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it is. And I remember, Mandy Miller. She came back, and she's an athletic trainer at Louisiana Tech, and I think now she's at LSU. And she was a great female athlete back in the day. Absolutely great volleyball player. She could play any sport, really. I mean, basketball. I mean, I grew up with her, so it was great, having her go into the Hall. There's Eddie, your good friend Eddie Jakes.
Yes,
he's been
Eddie
on with
Jakes,
us.
yes. And
I played, some rec ball with Eddie, and he was such a great tennis player, though, and he's still such a huge part of our community as far
Need
as
to get Eddie
tennis
healthy.
fabric.
Yeah,
man, he's a great dude.
But Annette Fletcher.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, she still looked like she could step out onto the court
Mm-hmm.
and do some damage. Out there for UAH. Fantastic.
Coach Sharp needs her. Let's go. Need some blast.
Woo, she's got a little fire still left in her.
And don't forget, 2:00 tomorrow, everybody.
Oh, that's right. We'll be over there at UAH.
Yeah.
Introducing the new head coaches.
Yeah.
They hit a home run, I think, with both guys.
I think it's good hires. Yeah,
Mick's
I'm
a good guy.
I'm excited.
It was fun. It's weird that now there's guys that are coaching back here that I covered when they played high school basketball.
Well, I watched Mick play at Crossville before he became the all-time leading scorer at Belmont. Let that sink in.
Yes,
how good
Crossville.
a player. Yeah, I mean from Crossville, Alabama.
I want to say he and Ronnie Stapler, when Ronnie was at Gunnersville.
Ronnie probably coached against him.
I think he did.
And his
I could be wrong.
And his high school coach was Kirk Jonas, who is, of course, the father of Justin and Jason Jonas.
Yes.
And we've had Justin on. Remember, DAR gets to the Final Four,
Yes.
and we had Justin on a couple times.
Justin, I believe, had stops in an Arab as well.
Well, he did. He was at Arab for about a decade, and Kurt coached Justin at Douglas. So Kurt coached another stint at Crossville after he had Jason and, of course, Mick Hedgepeth. Mick was a great player, and he's done a heck of a job coaching, man. And it's gonna be a really interesting. And just from people that know basketball, Scott, talking to people about Mick, they're excited about it. They think it's a good fit, and excited to see. Maybe you can get Jack Hossel back out of the portal if he's not going to Central Arkansas. I don't know what's going on.
I did good, though.
Did you?
I did good because I knew Saturday it was Mick Hedgepeth. I knew Saturday.
You did,
and we accidentally said it on the stream on Saturday in the UAH softball game.
Did you get in as much trouble as I did?
No.
Okay.
Because Steve and I were just talking. I didn't know we didn't know I didn't know we were on the stream, but we were talking, and I'm like, yes, it's Mick Hedgepeth, all this other stuff. We said it on Saturday,
right?
That it was going to be him, and we kept it, and I did very good. I didn't say anything until it was announced, so
right.
I did very good.
There you go.
Because I didn't want to ruin the thing for UAH, but anyway,
they put out a nice press release yesterday.
They did. 2:00 tomorrow.
The roommate of Andy Blackston.
Yes.
Alan Sharp.
Alan Sharp. Good guy. Got to talk to him quite a bit during the junior college.
Yeah, we were talking to him over
state
there.
championships when he was over here. And ironically, his last game that he coached for Wallace State on the women's side came inside Spraggins Hall.
Yeah, this is going to now be his new workplace.
Yeah, and he got to use the UAH men's locker room during that time. So they treated him very well, did UAH. All right, we are just about done. Okay, let's throw this in there, shall we? Here we go. I've been sitting on this in case we needed it. Here we go.
Right.
He's ready. So is Iglesias. 2-2. Ground ball out to short. Arcia has got it. Steps on the bag, and the Braves have taken the series in Houston. Very fitting that last out will be taken care of by Arcia. He took care of the Braves with his bat. Braves had a nice night on the mound with 8 shutout innings. And they hold on and win it by a final score of 6-2. They'll go for a sweep tomorrow.
Ronaldo Lopez.
For the Astros in the ninth, 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors, 2 left. Final score, Braves 6, Astros 2.
Yep. And that's good. Spencer Strider out, but people stepping up. And now it's even tougher because a little bit of a toe injury for, Ozzie Albies, so he'll be out for a couple weeks. So we'll have to have somebody else step in. But certainly the Braves off to a solid start, and they got a chance to sweep the Houston Astros, who are a perennial contender, off to a slow start this year. But certainly the Braves organization is deep. And
no Dusty Baker, though, this year for Houston.
Yeah.
Different.
Yeah, Dusty got his title and may finally be retired. He's had a long, long career in Major League Baseball as a player and manager.
All right. That's going to do it for 2 hours with us. At least you didn't say a word today that's going to get you in trouble
I hope
later.
not. I don't know.
You never meant to say it from the beginning yesterday.
I didn't. I just got fired up talking about a peckerhead.
Let's just replace it with another one.
Well, that's not okay.
It's
wow. We got a whole bunch of CDs and DVDs over here.
Oh, look at that.
Uh-oh.
Look at that. Need some
Big burger.
food. Where's that at? Oh,
Honey's
that's Honey's.
restaurant.
That's not what I think of when I think of Honey's.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and